Hey guys, welcome to the podcast where I, Coach Mike Payton, invite other coaches on, I interview them, I ask them questions, I hopefully get to learn things from them, and I hope you guys will learn something along the way. Let's get right into the podcast.
Stop using melatonin. Okay, let me explain this for a second. So number one, I'm not saying that if you are prescribed melatonin for any kind of, say, medical purpose, that you should stop taking it. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is that melatonin, like say melatonin gummies or like melatonin tablets or however else you're taking melatonin, can actually hurt your sleep more than other things that you could do, which I'll explain later on in this podcast. So let's first go down the list of why you shouldn't be taking melatonin. So number one is that it works very similar to a hormone. So, your body produces hormones, right? And then it reacts. It's like a chemical signaler and all that stuff. But what melatonin does is it signals to your body that it's time to sleep. And so if you're like taking melatonin, then it's kind of telling your body, oh, okay, we're getting melatonin from another source. That means we don't have to take any more melatonin. It's similar to like if you're taking like a exogenous testosterone, or like you're injecting some testosterone, or like people who take steroids, right? It's a very similar thing. Whenever they take them, and if you are taking them, then your body will actually stop producing testosterone on its own. And whether you're a man or a woman, you do need testosterone, in fact. And if you're like using exogenous testosterone, so you're injecting it, then your body is going to say, oh, we don't need this, so let's stop producing it. And so you will stop producing testosterone. So yeah, similar kind of mechanism with your melatonin. If you consume melatonin, you're taking it from an exogenous source, so you're something outside of the natural production, and then your body says, well, now we don't have to produce it anymore. And so it will actually mess up your sleep cycle a lot more than if you were just to suffer through your bad nights of sleep. Now, I'm disrupting a lot of people's lives here by saying this, and so what I want to do is I want to go through some steps that you can take to actually still have good sleep without taking melatonin, because I don't just want to leave you hanging. So, number one, stop taking your melatonin. First thing that you can do, and I would recommend that you do, is make your like going to bed time and your wake up time the same every single day. It doesn't matter if it's the weekend. It doesn't matter if it's, I don't know, you're traveling. You should try and make it the same. That way your body just knows, okay, this is the time that we go to sleep. You're kind of training yourself to sleep at the same time every day. And like if you don't do that on a weekend, say, it's kind of like getting jet lagged. So you're jacking up your circadian rhythm, and then what are you doing after that? After you're jacked up, you're not jacked up, but your circadian rhythm is jacked up. Then you don't get good sleep because you're kind of disrupting that natural rhythm of sleep. So make your wake up time and your bedtime the same every single day. Number two thing that you can do is go to bed when you're tired. So like if you just are sleepy, go to sleep. That doesn't mean you should take a nap though, and that's later on in this point. So sleep when you're sleepy. instead of going on your phone or reading an exciting book. Just go to sleep. So that's number 2. Go to bed when you're sleepy, or sleep when you're sleepy is another way to say it. Number 3 is to kind of like try again. So if at first you don't succeed, try again, right? So if it takes you more than 20 minutes to go to bed, get up out of your bed, go do something else, get a drink of water. Actually, maybe don't get a drink of water, but do something relaxing, and don't do anything super exciting. Try and do something really, really boring. Like this paper that I'm reading from, it suggests read the phone book. And if you're into some philosophy, maybe you read a philosophy book, read a textbook, something very dry and not exciting, something that's not going to raise your heart rate. So if you're reading a book right now, then don't read that book, because it could be an exciting book and actually increase your heart rate. And that's not what we want. We want heart rate to be down, and we want you to be nice and cozy. That way you go to sleep and you're all good. So that's number 3, is just try again. If it takes you 20 minutes to go to sleep. Number 4 is avoid caffeinated beverages. I would recommend not afternoon, just because of how caffeine works in the body. I would not recommend drinking caffeine after 12 o'clock. That way you kind of let it all get out of your system, and then you're good to go to sleep. This paper also suggests to not consume any nicotine, which I've not ever heard before, but it makes sense. Those are both chemicals that affect your sleepiness or your wake up and all that kind of stuff. So I would recommend not consuming any of those close to bedtime, like within 4 to 6 hours. Caffeine, I'd probably recommend more time than that, but not by much. So that's number 4, is avoid caffeine and nicotine. Number 5 is avoid alcohol. So some people are like, oh man, I should consume alcohol because it makes me really sleepy. When in fact, that is true. It does make you sleepy, but it actually will disrupt your sleep. So you won't get very good sleep whenever you drink alcohol before you go to bed. So your quality of sleep goes down, which we don't want, right? That's why you might be taking melatonin, because you want good sleep. So don't drink any alcohol before bed. I'd recommend, if you want to drink alcohol, make sure you drink it in the middle of the day, after you've had some breakfast, and at least breakfast. And maybe at noon, like early evening. I just wouldn't recommend drinking it before bed. Like, give it a couple hours, at least 2 hours before you go to sleep. So that's number 5, is avoid alcohol. Number 6 is use your bed for sleeping. So don't study in your bed. Don't, eat in your bed. Don't watch movies in your bed. You could probably go down a laundry list of things, like don't play video games in your bed. Don't do anything in your bed except for sleep. That's the 6th point. Number 7 is no naps. So this makes sense, because if you take a nap in the middle of the day, then like you're again jacking up your circadian rhythm, because that's kind of how your body functions in a circadian rhythm. That's your sleep-wake cycle. So if you sleep in the middle of the day when you're supposed to be awake, then obviously it would kind of mess up your sleep-wake cycle. And I know that's really hard, because it's like, man, I'm really tired in the middle of the day. I've got a few minutes, I got a few hours. Like, oh, I'll just go to sleep. But here's the thing with that, is that you just suffer through it. You'll get through it, and you'll thank yourself in the long run, because then at the end of the day, you will be sleepy, and you'll actually sleep, and you'll sleep deeper than if you had taken a nap. So just Just sleep. I know it's hard. I know it will be difficult, but don't take any naps. So that's number 7. Number 8 is sleep rituals. So come up with things that are going to help you to kind of calm down, things that are going to bring your heart rate down. So maybe light a candle, turn off a lot of your lights, don't be exposed to a lot of like blue light. I recommend trying to decrease your light exposure big time. So you have this setting on your phone to turn off your blue light. If you have an iPhone, you just go in your settings, and then I think it's in like your display, and then you just schedule it. And then you don't have to worry about blue light exposure from your phone. I'd recommend turning off your overhead lights. That way you're not getting that bright light. If you have a lamp, use that. If you want to go one step even further, maybe some like dimmer lights, or candles. Firelight is really good too. So if you want to take it even step further, use firelight instead of like your typical lamp, and then do some breathing exercises. So there's a lot of different ways to do breathing exercises. You could go 3 seconds in, hold for 3 seconds, and then out for 3 seconds. And that's really going to bring your heart rate down. So doing things like that and your light exposure are both really good kind of nighttime rituals. Some people like to stretch. You could do that. You could read a really boring book. Just do things consistently that aren't going to raise your heart rate. You could also like brush your teeth. That's a good one. So yeah, that's number 7 is come up with some kind of like sleep habits or sleep rituals is how this is phrased. And I'll give you guys the document here that I'm reading or referencing in the show notes. Number 9 is a bath. I would even, like a hot bath. I would even say like maybe take a hot shower. And what this is doing is that it's actually helping to lower your body temperature. So you're under that hot water. What is your body going to do? It's going to cool down, and that's what you want. You don't want to be really hot. You want to be cooled down. That's why after you take a shower at night, I don't know if anybody's ever experienced this. This might just be a me thing. But anytime I've taken a shower at night and then after like a long day of work, you get home, you take a shower, and you just feel really cozy. It's like, man, I could snuggle up in a nice, cozy, warm blanket and fall asleep right now. And that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to calm your body down and get cozy. So take a hot shower, take a hot bath before you go to bed. Make that part of your sleep ritual, your sleep habits. That's a really good thing to do. So that's point number 9 is kind of lower that body temperature. And number 10 is no clock watching. So in here they talk about a few different things in their 10th point. I would say like biggest thing is you can look at your clock before you go to bed. Like that's not that big of a deal. But if you want to be super cautious about it, don't look at your clock before you go to bed. And if you wake up in the middle of the night, do not look at the time, because then you're going to start thinking. And once your brain is firing, your brain is like busy, it's so much harder to get back to sleep. So if you do wake up, don't look at a clock. Just if you do wake up and you're like fully awake, do some more of those breathing exercises. Try to go back to sleep. It's going to be a lot easier to go back to sleep if you don't look at the clock in the middle of the night, because then you start doing those calculations in your brain of like, I've only gotten 4 hours of sleep. Gosh, I'm not going to get any sleep. And then you start getting anxious, and then it's like, oh crap. And then you start thinking of everything that could ever go wrong, and it's just don't do that. Just don't look at your clock, and it won't start that thought process. So that's point number 10. I'm going to skip point number 11 because I don't know what they mean by that. So I'm not going to try and explain it to you because I don't know what it means. Number 12 is exercise. So if you exercise during the day, it's going to help to like make you tired, right? You've expended a lot of energy while exercising, and so your body has to repair. And that can actually be, that's really what your sleep is for, is to repair from the day before and repair for the next day. And that's kind of what your body is doing. So if you exercise, then it stimulates that kind of growth. And so whenever you go to sleep, your body's like, oh, okay, we have to repair this. And since we had these stressors, let's make these things better. That way we aren't stressed by that tomorrow. So yeah, you sleep to repair and prepare. Number 13 is eat right. If you are eating right, you're eating a good, healthy balance of your vegetables and meats and all this and that. Excuse me. So I mean, you could, as long as you're eating healthily and you're getting enough of your number one, your macronutrients, so like protein, carbohydrates, fats, but also like your vitamins and minerals. If you're getting enough of those, it's going to help promote sleep because those things are imperative for repair, right? If you aren't giving your body enough fuel to repair, then like you're signaling to your body like, hey, we need to get better, but then you're not giving it the stuff to get better. It's like a contractor. It's like you hire a contractor to build an addition to your house, but you don't give them any of the materials, or you don't give them money to buy the materials to build onto the house. You've just wasted money hiring them, really, is what you've done. They're there, but like they're not doing anything because they don't have the materials. So that's effectively what you're doing whenever you don't eat right. So that's number 13. Number 14 is like the right space. Make your bedroom comfortable to sleep in. So if you have like lights that kind of shine through your windows, maybe get some blackout curtains. If you live in a loud area, earplugs might help. Or if you are a spouse to somebody who snores, get some earplugs. Or if you're a roommate with somebody who snores, get some earplugs, right? Obviously, this doesn't work for everyone. Some people, like if you're a parent, you might have to wake up and go and grab your kid and all this because they're crying. And that wouldn't be great if you were wearing earplugs, so please don't do that. But make your bedroom a comfortable place to sleep in, and make it an environment to sleep in. So get your nice warm blankets and make the temperature nice and cool and all that. And that'll be super helpful for your sleeping. You want a good, cool outside environment, and you want to have nice, warm blankets generally. And I know some people, it varies, but that's just a general rule of thumb. Number 15 is keep your daytime routine the same. So what that means is even if you get a terrible night's sleep, don't like make that an excuse to like not do something that you should be doing the next day. So like exercise is a great example of this. It's like, oh, I'm so tired, I didn't get good sleep. And then you make the excuse and then you don't show up to the gym, and thus you're not exercising. So just keep your daytime routine the same, even if you had a bad night's sleep. It kind of goes back to the no napping thing. You'll get through it. It's okay. I know it's hard, and it is a very difficult thing because it sucks whenever you don't get a good night's sleep, but push through. You'll get through a day. You'll have tomorrow, and all you have to do is try again tomorrow. So all in all, if you really want to just do some things now. Super easy steps. These 15 things are really great, or 14 because I skipped number 11. But yes, do these things. Biggest things that I think a lot of people could work on are, number one, make your sleep schedule regular. Make it the same, whether it's weekend or weekday. And then number two is avoid that caffeine before 12 o'clock. And then number three is take a warm shower. Take a warm shower before you go to bed. That's going to be huge. So if you just do those three things, your sleep will probably improve. But if you want to take it even a step further, or these things aren't working for you quite as well as you want them to, try another thing. Maybe just try 3 of the things on this list rather than just trying all 15 at the same time. Introduce them slowly, and your sleep will improve. These steps are called sleep hygiene. So it's like keeping that sleep schedule nice and squeaky clean. I will link a document in the show notes if you would rather read this and take a look at that. I would recommend looking at it. It's a really helpful document. I learned a lot from reading it. I learned a lot from a lot of research studies as well that I was looking at. But these 15 are going to be huge for you. So I hope this helps you sleep better. And I hope that you enjoyed this episode of the PFC podcast. And I'll see you next week with an episode with Coach. Wait, no. I don't think I have one scheduled for next week yet. So I don't know who I'm going to be interviewing, but I'll be interviewing somebody. It could be Coach Will Ashcraft. He's a martial arts instructor at Empower Gym, also the owner or co-owner of Empower Gym. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all for watching, listening, lols. Bye.